Hi, I'm Patrick and this is the Mach-E vlog. Today we have an update about Ford's access to the Tesla Supercharger network, including confirmation that we will be getting a free adapter. So let's go. Okay, so this news is as of January 31st, 2024. It was announced this morning by Jim Farley that current Mach-E and Lightning owners will be getting a free adapter from Ford. There was some, little caveat in there. It said eligible Mach-E and Lightning owners. Jim Farley seemed to confirm that it's basically going to be one adapter per VIN, so one adapter per vehicle. So that means like if you buy a used Mach-E, if the previous person did not claim an adapter, you can still get one. But if the previous person claimed the adapter and they kept it and then sold you the car or the truck, you won't be able to get like a second one for free. So that's the eligible part. But he did say it was free. They will be sending it out. There will be a form. You'll probably have to like just fill it out and request, where you want it to be sent. And the timeline is still spring 2024. So of course, spring is March through June. Could be anywhere in that time frame. And then they also said beginning. So it may not be like everybody gets one all at once. We still don't know, some of those details. But it does mean that it should be starting relatively soon, maybe even sooner. There was a meeting at a city council in a city in Utah, just north of Salt Lake City, in which they were approving a new supercharger station. And one of the questions to the Tesla rep that was there presenting the proposal was, when will the Tesla chargers be available to other cars? And the Tesla representative said that it will be available starting in February for Ford and GM cars. Now, that's from Tesla's side of things. Ford is still saying spring. The official announcements have all said spring, but it's really good to see that it looks like this is definitely going to be happening, and hopefully in the beginning part of the year. Although you might think it's just easy, like they get the adapter out there and then just flip a switch and it's all going to work. There is a lot of back-end work that Tesla and Ford are going to have to do to make sure all the systems are integrated, make sure the protocols are working when the car is trying to connect to a supercharger. But I feel pretty confident that Ford and Tesla have been working on this for a while. We know that there are some Magic Dock locations that are already out there. I think there's like 30 or 40 now that are out there. And those are supercharger stations that have an adapter built into the station itself. And if you have a non-Tesla, and the Tesla app, you can activate those. It will then allow you to use the adapter to plug into a Mach-E or any CCS, almost any CCS car, and charge at a Tesla Supercharger. So that means they probably have some data on the basically initialization protocols and stuff like that. But there is still more software that they're going to have to do on both ends, Tesla and Ford. Ford has said that they want it to be a seamless integration with the Tesla Superchargers. So that means being able to activate it using the Ford Pass app, being able to activate it using the Charge Assist that's on the screen in the Mach-E and the Lightning, as well as plug and charge. So those are additional layers of complexity that they definitely have to work through, and hopefully they have already started testing. I don't know, I don't have any additional insight, but I would just imagine that they have charging experts that have already been working on this with Tesla. And then on Tesla's side, they have to be able to make sure, like with plug and charge, that they're identifying the vehicle and then it's routing the payment information via Tesla back to Ford so that you're getting charged correctly. So complexity to get this actually rolled out, but it looks like we're still on track for spring 2024, and hopefully maybe even sooner if that Tesla rep is accurate in saying February 2024. Since the original announcement back in May of 2023 with Jim Farley and Elon Musk on Twitter announcing that Ford was going to have access, at that time they said it was going to be 12,000 supercharger stalls. That has increased recently. I believe in October they increased that number to 15,000. And then today, I haven't seen an announcement per se on this, but when I went to look at the website to verify this on Ford, it actually increased to 17,250 individual Tesla supercharger stalls. Now, this won't be everyone, every supercharger stall. Basically, it looks like it's going to be version 3 and above from what we've been estimating. And a lot of people are like, how do you identify version 3? Basically just looking at a map or the supercharger listings. And the way that I've been able to do it very easily, if you use PlugShare, you can tell it to show the Tesla Superchargers, and then if you filter the ones that are above like 200 kilowatts, that gets you your version 3s that are 250 kilowatts. There are some version 4s that are supposedly coming online soon that would include them as well. So we think that's the ones that we're going to have access to, at least initially. Who knows if they will ever, do some back retrofit to the version 2s, but a lot of the version 2 stations are also being upgraded. So that 17,250 may get pushed even higher and higher as we get closer to the rollout. If you use ChargeWay, which is another app for finding charging stations, you want to find the red 7s, and those are the version 3 and above superchargers. Should note that PlugShare and ChargeWay, they do show like the Tesla Superchargers are compatible with the Mach-E if they have the Magic Dock, and I imagine that going forward that those apps will adapt so that once we have access to the supercharger network and we have our adapter, we'll probably just like check some setting or filter, and then it'll show the CCS network networks that are compatible, as well as the Tesla ones that are compatible as well. I know they'll probably work that out. And that also goes for, somebody asked this morning on Twitter about Google Maps and Apple Maps, because right now within the Mach-E and the Lightning, you can do Apple Maps EV routing to plan your routes, and it won't show the Tesla Superchargers. Google Maps, that feature is coming soon, but I think for either of those that it's going to be some type of configuration setting that once the supercharger network is available, that will also show up on those. And of course, the Ford nav is already, it'll be prepared from day one. Right now, if you look on Ford Pass, or in the Mach-E or Lightning and the sync screen, it'll show you those Tesla Magic Dock stations. And as soon as they're ready to flip the switch, I'm assuming it'll be like same type of thing, like we'll check a box, or it'll just know based off of your VIN that you have the Tesla adapter, and then it will add those to the route planning. So that's, I think it'll be a very seamless transition to finding the superchargers out there. And it's just like with CCS right now, it's like, I don't know where the CCS stations are around me, but our mapping tools will have that, and it'll make it nice and easy, make EV route planning super convenient. As I mentioned, I think Tesla and Ford are both getting some valuable information from the current Tesla Superchargers that have Magic Dock, and we are too as owners of the Mach-E. One of the things about those superchargers, I mentioned that they're like 250 kilowatts. That doesn't mean that your Lightning or Mach-E are going to magically charge at 250 kilowatts. We still have our own limitations within the vehicles. Technically, it says 150 kilowatts each for the Mach-E and the Lightning. The Mach-E, we've seen peaks on EA chargers of up to about like 166. I know the Lightning can get into the 170s on EA chargers, but with the Tesla Superchargers that we've seen, like with the Magic Dock, we're limited probably to about 130 kilowatts. And we don't want to get too technical, and it's not really that technical, but basically those the Magic Dock adapter is limited to 350 amps. Based on the voltage of the batteries that are in our car, that means we have a theoretical limit of around 130 kilowatts with some losses built in there as well. A lot of people have been seeing like a lot of 108, 110. So we, even though 130 is the max, you may not get that. So it won't necessarily be as fast as using like an EA or EV Go station that's at 350 kilowatts rated, where we can see those 160s, 170 kilowatt speeds. So what does that mean in the real world? It might mean instead of taking 30 minutes for your charge, it might take 35, 38 minutes, something like that. So it will be a little bit slower to use the Tesla Supercharger network, but maybe the convenience or the availability will be worth it. There's been a lot of questions about pricing. Will we pay the same price as Tesla owners? And it looks like no, we will not. Right now with the Magic Dock superchargers, it does cost a bit more. I think it's like about 15, 20% more, something like that, per kilowatt hour. Or you can get the discounted rate, but you pay $12.99 per month to get like the Tesla rate. So you'll have to do some calculations on your own of whether or not that's worth it. I think it's sort of, based on, our experience like with EA, Electrify America, and their memberships, it may take like 2 or 3 charges per month for you to sort of break even on paying that $12.99 rate. EA is only like $7 or $7.99 now. So a little bit better benefit by having an EA membership to get that discount than the Tesla membership. But like if you're going on a road trip, it looks like you will be able to activate it, say for like the month of February, and then deactivate it at the end of that. So like it may be worth it to turn it on and off depending on what your supercharging needs are going to be for that month. And as we've seen, there's been a lot of people out there that have tried charging at Tesla charging stations with the Magic Dock, and with the Mach-E and the Lightning, it's very hard to do so because the cables aren't that long. They have some new version 4 cabinets that have longer cables that make it easier, but it still looks like we're going to have to park probably in the wrong spot to access a Tesla Supercharger. And I think that's part of their consideration on how they're handling this rollout, and they know that they have to make some changes. And that's being on the Tesla side. So we've seen at some supercharger stations, they're removing the bollards that like protect the supercharger so that you can get closer up to the curb. And by the way, I think it also benefits the Tesla Cybertruck because of where they put the port on that, and you have to back in, and it's a big vehicle. So I think some of this is benefiting their own vehicles as well. Some of the newer sites, there's more pull-through sites. There's sites where they're starting to put the supercharger stall pedestal on like the side of the vehicle so it'd be easier to access. There's still going to be a lot of times we're going to have to park awkwardly or in the wrong spot. So as this does roll out, just want to remind you, try to be cognizant of that, be kind and courteous to your fellow EV drivers and owners, and try not to take up too many extra spots. Don't like parallel park in front and like block 3 spots. If you can, park on the end so you're taking up a spot that a Tesla wouldn't be in any case. So, just be mindful. And, along those lines, we sort of had the issue at a lot of like EA stations, for example, of people charging all the way up to 100% and then just leaving their car there. A lot of that's because people have like free charging with EA, like VW owners and stuff like that. Tesla doesn't have that, first of all, but just a word of warning, they do have idle fees. EA's starting to implement idle fees, but Tesla has idle fees right now, and it's like $1 a minute. So that's something else to be aware of. If you are going to be at a Tesla Supercharger, keep in mind they will charge idle fees, and you probably shouldn't be charging to 100%, and you should never like leave it sitting charging on or not charging on a charger anyway. So just keep that in mind. And going back to the parking and parking in the wrong spot, a lot of people are hoping that we will have like a big long cable that is the adapter. I don't think that's going to be the case. There were some images floating around out there that looks like that the adapters are going to look like the Magic Dock adapters. Nothing is completely set right now on what it's going to look like, but I think it's going to be a relatively small adapter. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, like the bigger the adapter, the more cumbersome it is going to be to like store it in the car. And then 2, the cables on superchargers and most DC fast chargers are liquid cooled, and that keeps it, the temperatures down when you're dumping that much electricity into your car. And if you don't have that capability and basically an extension cable, it's not going to be liquid cooled. It'll just be air cooled. you're going to have problems with damage to the cable, damage to the pins because of heat. So more than likely, it's just going to be like a little small adapter that you'll plug in. Looks just like the ones that we see on Magic Docks. From my guess, that's the only thing that we can go off of right now. But more than likely, it's going to be a small adapter. It's not going to like really give us a lot more flexibility, and really, it's going to make the cable feel a little bit shorter because of the way it's going to like plug in or whatever. But you know, over time, I think the reconfiguration of supercharger locations will help, and just you know, at some point, maybe on the next generation Mach-E or Lightning, maybe the charge port will go closer to the front, or maybe it'll be in the rear, like the Tesla does. So who knows? But for right now, it's just going to be a bit of a challenge. And the other thing that means is like if it is a completely full station or nearly full station, it's like it may be like the charger that you need is not necessarily blocked, but the space next to it is, but that's the one that you actually need to park in. So full stations are going to present an issue for Mach-E owners and Lightning owners. And if we are using those when they're nearly full, it's going to mean that we're taking up 2 spaces. So again, let's just be courteous, but if you need to charge, you're going to need to charge. I do want to mention that there are some companies already right now that are listing that a Tesla NACS to CCS adapter is going to be available. They've shown pictures of it. They actually have prototypes available, and you can actually pre-order them right now. My advice, don't buy those. First of all, it looks like we're going to be getting a free adapter from Ford for the Mach-E and the Lightning owners out there. But also, it's like Tesla or Ford could say, like, if you use any of these adapters, it voids your warranty. I don't know if they'll be able to detect if you're using a third-party adapter, but if somebody's telling me my warranty is going to be voided using this adapter, I wouldn't buy it. So for now, at least, don't buy them. Who knows, maybe, you know, 6 months down the road, we get word that those adapters are fine. And if you need a second adapter, that might be an option for you. But in general, don't buy those. But there's also, I want to mention, and we've done a video on like this. This is an Electron Tesla destination to J1772 adapter. I still think this is a great product, and I'm glad that we have it. What it allows us to do is, like when we go to a hotel or to a friend's house and they have a Tesla charger, we can plug the Tesla charger in on this side, plug this into the Mach-E, and we can charge just like we could if it were any other level 2 charger. I think it's been a great product. We've used it a few times at hotels. Will we still need this? My guess is that we probably will, because like the Magic Dock adapters, they're for DC fast charging. They don't have the pinouts for doing the J1772 charging. So my guess is that we will still need this, but I'm not sure. So it may be like hold off a bit before you buy one of these. And there may be a case that this is even more desirable, you know, 6 months to a year down the road. And the reason being is that if more and more hotels are putting in chargers and they're seeing that the world is switching to the NACS adapter, they may go ahead and say, we're not putting in any more J1772. So then therefore, if you do need one of these, it'd be more valuable or more worth it to get one of these. But maybe just hold off on this as well until we get more details. Again, I don't think that the adapter that Ford is going to send is going to do level 2 conversion, but only the DC fast charging. So I think we're still going to need this, but just, may want to wait a couple of months if you're undecided about whether to buy one. If you do need it, it actually pays for itself very quickly. Like I said, we've charged a couple of times at a hotel using these, using this one, and it's been very, very nice to have this flexibility that we just keep in the front of the car. Well, that's it. That's our, quick little update on the situation with Tesla Superchargers being available for Mach-E and Lightning owners, and hopefully other CCS owners shortly after that. I'm really excited. As soon as we get an adapter and the Supercharger network opens up, we have plans to do some road trips, including hitting some of those pain points within the current CCS network, like Quartzsite, Arizona, or between LA and Sacramento. There's often a lot of wait times and down chargers and stuff like that. It'd be a perfect opportunity for us to explore, to compare and contrast the CCS network versus the Tesla Supercharger network, and test it out to see like, how is it charging next to Teslas? Can we find an empty spot to where we can charge easily? So we're really excited. As soon as we get ours, we're going to be out there on the road testing it out and sharing all of that information with you so that you can sort of see and learn before you're out on the road. We'll find the recommendations, tips, and all of that other good stuff. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you to our Patreon members. As always, their names are scrolling down below the Engage, Whisper, and Unbridled. If you haven't, please go ahead and hit subscribe. We are going to bring you lots more Mach-E, Lightning, T3, and other Ford EV news as we get it, as well as tips, recommendations, all that good stuff. But if you don't have a Ford EV, just remember, whatever you drive, no matter how you charge it, enjoy the ride. Bye.